fellow human light beings. This is Mahadeva the Thunder Wizard. Welcome to the channel. I got the thumbnail screwed up. We are going to be doing a meditation at the end of this video because I'm in a place in my life where I need to be doing a lot of meditating. So I like to keep current. One of the things that I, for better or for worse, as a YouTube spiritual influencer, if there is such a term, one of the things that I do is I always go out of my way to try and make sure that I am authentic with everybody. And the reason for that is because I'm the kind of person that if I can't relate to a spiritual teacher as somebody who's like me, if I can't see myself in that person, they're of no use to me. And so I always try to make sure that I don't try and pretend I'm something I'm not. So I'm always letting you know where I'm at, what's going on with me. As you know, of course, I'm very opinionated about a lot of things, but if I'm wrong about something, I come out and I'll make a video about it. I'll say I was wrong about this and here's why. And I think that's important. Not only is it important, I think, because it's important to be able to stay flexible and humble through life, but as I said before, I don't trust any teacher that doesn't show you through example how they've gotten through life. The famous Buddhist saying, if you see Buddha by the side of the road, kill him. And the reason why they say that is because, for the same reason they say, never meet your heroes. Because once you put somebody up on a pedestal and then you meet them in person and you find, and I've experienced this. There was a guy, my teacher's teacher, a long time ago. I kept on hearing all these stories about this guy, and I had this idealized version of him, and I believed that he had the answers that my teacher didn't, and so I couldn't wait to meet him. And so years later, I finally met the guy, and he was, it was such a disappointment. He had a lot of skill in terms of his his martial arts abilities and his energetic abilities, but outside of that, he was extremely, destructive and unconscious and immature. And I was just absolutely, it was very, very sad. So I go out of my way to make sure that you see me for who I am. And the reason for that is so that when you go through the same things, or if you've gone through the same things, then I hopefully might be an example to help you know, at least what I did to work through it. So that's what's happening for me today. So if you were on here yesterday, let's see, yesterday was Thursday, right? So Tuesday I got kicked in the groin, being told that I had to leave the country that I'm currently in, which is Australia. So I had 3 months to get out of here. And I could go into, I should have seen this coming, because it's true, I should have seen it coming. But was very devastating to me because this is the only place that I feel comfortable and I want to live. So I've been doing all the normal things. I've got all the other things lined up. I've got, if I come back to the States, which looks like I will, I'll go back to where I was living in Florida. And I could go for all the reasons why I want to do that. And I'm also doing whatever I can on the side to see if there's any way that I can stay here legally. I even considered staying illegally, and then I looked into that and realized that was a very bad idea. Of course, I wouldn't have done that anyway, because I have too much pride to not be able to look people in the face. I don't like the idea of looking over my shoulder. So yeah, I'm going to be talking to any lawyers again. I already have, and it doesn't look good, but I'll give it one more shot. So I wanted to make this video today about, how to handle tough times and to stay spiritually connected. Feeling a lot better today. I still have that pit in my stomach, that feeling you have like when a relationship ends or if somebody dies. If you ever had that feeling, it's just like this horrible feeling in your gut that just is constantly bothering you. I still have that. But because I've made some plans and I've come back to what I'm going to be talking about today, I now have a lot of hope and I feel comfortable going forward. In fact, there's part of me that's actually excited because I like to be able to have projects to work on and things to do. So I'm doing a lot better today. But I wanted to talk to you about what it is that I do when I'm in these kinds of situations. Now, the objective reality is, this is important for me to do. Don't catastrophize. Catastrophize, if you haven't heard that phrase, is when you get into a place where everything is the worst possible thing and there's no hope and there's no solution. Now, it's okay to have that feeling. I certainly had that feeling when I got this news, and I was extremely, extremely sad for at least 24 hours. It was very, very saddening for me, and I couldn't see a way out. But I knew that if I just did what I do, I meditate, I exercise, talk to people, that eventually I would be able to see more clearly, which I can now. I can see clearly. And so catastrophize is when you're just constantly indulging. So what's important to understand is that when you're in a place where you're in a really bad spot and you can't see a way out, you do have a choice in that moment. You have a choice to indulge in that, which is catastrophizing. Seeing everything's just a catastrophe, nothing's going to get better. One of the things that happens very common is that when you have an intense feeling, your body will lie to you and will say to you, this feeling is really horrible and it's never going to go away, and it's always been this way and it will always be this way. And even though, you could have had, a week ago, you could have been on top of the world and said, there's always hope, there's always, a rainbow around the corner. But when you're in that space, your body lies to you and tells you that it's always been bad and it always will be. So it's important to know that when you have that feeling, that's what's going on. It's a feeling and it is a distortion of reality. And so, sometimes all you can do is just hang on to the knowledge that, let's go back to the basics. This is why it's extremely important to have a spiritual discipline. By discipline, I mean doing something every day, having a meditative practice, qigong practice. And it's also helpful to have things like physical exercise, things that you can put into a routine, things that are good for you. We all have routines, but not all of our routines are actually any benefit to us. So you have to have things in your life that are a routine, that take effort, that take discipline, and that are good for you. Having a meditative practice every day, that no matter how you feel, you do your meditation, you do your energy work, you do your mantra, whatever it is, your tai chi, doesn't matter. Have a physical routine. So I do that. And no matter how I feel, I go to the gym, no matter what. Go surfing and go to the gym. So those are things that I do my best to make sure that I have in my life. So that's the first thing I do, is I come back to home base and I go back to the positive routine. Even though your body's telling you, not now, nothing will work, don't do anything, you do it. This is discipline. And the most important mindset that I've learned in my life, which I would like to share with you, which I share on the 12 Steps to 5D, which I also recommend. You go on my channel, click on the 12 Steps to 5D playlist, is to learn how to take contrary action, as it is called. And what it means is learn to take actions that are directly contrary to everything your body is telling you to do. So this is what discipline is. When you go to the gym, even when you don't want to, you have the discipline that you go no matter what. You do your mantra, you do your meditation every day at a certain time, no matter what your body's telling you to do. And when you're in an emotional state where you're not seeing clearly, you're catastrophizing, you know, legitimately in a lot of pain, somebody died, relationship broke up, you lost your job, something like that. Those are, you know, and what happened to me, those are legitimate things to be really upset about. But you still take the action that is completely opposite what your body is trying to tell you to do. Your body's telling you to go get drunk. Your body's telling you to jump off a cliff. Your body's telling you to sit and eat Cheetos under the bedspread all day. Whatever it is, don't do that. Do the exact opposite. Because this is the most important thing I can tell you. This one technique is learning how to take action that is completely contrary to what your body wants to do when you know what you've been doing, which is helpful for you. Now, what it does is it also puts you in a state where you don't have to solve the problem. There's an inherent assumption that this problem is going to be here when I'm done going to the gym or when I'm done meditating. The problem will still be here. So not doing these things isn't going to accomplish that. And it has an assumption with it that things are going to, there's a solution here. There is a positive solution that will help you to figure out where you're going to go and what you're going to do next. You may not see it, you may not feel it. So it's really important, because the biggest problem that I've seen with modern humans is that they operate from their feelings. What I mean by that is not so much that they have their feelings and work through them, but that feelings, when feelings come up, they become impulses. And people act on the impulse to try and make the feeling go away. And that includes trying to stuff the feelings down. So anytime that you have a desire to get rid of a feeling, now trust me, I know this because I'm experiencing it. I want to get rid of these ugly feelings. But getting rid of your feelings is actually an act of suicide. It's a mild form of suicide. And it doesn't accomplish anything. It doesn't mean that you should work to stay uncomfortable. Obviously, you want to find the solution, and the solution will hopefully get rid of the negative feeling. But most people just respond. They completely react to their thoughts, they react to their emotions, and they don't think things through, and they don't trust. So that's the next thing I'm going to share with you. The first thing is to learn how to take contrary action. Learn how to take conscious, constructive action that you know is good for you, even though everything in your mind and your body is telling you to do something else. You take the contrary action that is best for you. And underneath that assumption is the assumption of trust. Never lose that. Trust. The assumption of trust is that you trust that the power that is the universe, the quantum conscious field, God, I don't care what word you use, that consciousness is completely and totally focused on you being the happiest, healthiest, most successful being you can possibly be. So if you don't, and I'm not talking about being Pollyanna. I've lost clients over this. There are clients that I've worked with who, you know, we talk, and you know, one person in particular I'm thinking of, you know, there was very specific actions that I was saying, listen, here's some actions you need to take, or you're going to be in big trouble. You're going to end up homeless if you don't, you know, look at this. You've got to take some action on it. And this person ended up not working with me, and the reason they stopped working with me was because they said that they were listening to some other person on YouTube who was telling people, just feel positive and don't do anything, and everything will work itself out. And this person said, I like that better, and so I'm going to stop working with you because I want to do that. And I don't know what happened. I hope everything worked out. Maybe it did. There's certainly something to be said, because as I'm saying, trusting the universe is the basic fundamental assumption that is without a doubt the most powerful thing you can have. It should be the complete foundation of your entire life. It should be based on trusting that the universe has your happiest life and will manifest for you your happiest, most healthy life possible. But that means you have to do your part, which is you have to be willing to shift and flow with whatever life may be pushing you towards something that's going to be better for you. And you can't see that yet. So, like I said, the person who took action to continue to do nothing because they couldn't, the things that they were required to do was just too frightening and painful. And they were basic stuff. I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to, show anybody's dirty underwear. But, it was basic common sense stuff. And this person just couldn't, it was so frightening and so painful, the thought of doing those basic things, that they just did nothing. And they wanted to be told everything was going to be okay. So that's an action. Choosing not to take action is an action, and it was a destructive, self-sabotaging action. So being willing to trust. So you start with that. So let's talk about what trust is. Trust is not a guarantee. Okay? Trust is not a guarantee. When you get into a relationship with somebody and you fall in love, that there is nothing that person can do which will guarantee that they won't hurt you or disappoint you. It's an impossibility. There are things we can do, like wedding ring or put on an engagement ring. That's a promise that adds to your ability to trust, but you still have no guarantee. And a lot of people want these guarantees. They're not going to trust until they have an absolute guarantee that they're not going to get hurt or things aren't going to go the way that they want. And that's not, trust is never like that. Trust is, in other words, what that means is that a person is saying, I want to feel safe. I want something to happen to me that will externally give me a feeling of safety so that I, don't even have to worry about it. Like, the sun's going to come up tomorrow. That's one thing. That's not trust. That's something is going to happen. The sun is going to come up. So it's not like I trust the sun is going to come up. The sun is going to come up. But you trust that, the world won't blow up tomorrow. You don't know that. The world might blow up tomorrow, but you trust that it will. You are in a relationship, you're in love with somebody, you're vulnerable to them. They could destroy you if they rejected you or cheated on you or hurt you in some way. It could completely destroy you emotionally because you are emotionally, Velcroed to them. So you can't take that part away. But there's literally nothing that person can do which will give you a feeling that will put you in a place where you don't have to be vulnerable. You don't have to take the risk of getting your feelings hurt or being disappointed. So trusting the universe doesn't mean that you have to feel it. This is my point. Point is, you don't have to feel the trust to act on it. Trust is an action. It's not a feeling. Safety is a feeling. You can feel safe. You can feel trust, like you're giving your trust to somebody, but it's really an action more than anything else. Because every action you take comes from a belief or a trust. You walk down the stairs, you trust that you're going to make it to the bottom. You don't know that. Your leg might give out. You might slip and fall. When you sit down in a chair, you don't have any guarantee that that chair is going to hold you up. But you trust the chair you sit down in. So trust involves an action with an unclear result. So trusting the universe is the most important thing. The absolute most important thing. Trusting that the universe will take care of you, because then with that trust you can take actions. You'll be able to take the actions. You might have to spend, like I'm staring down the barrel of having to spend a lot of money I don't have to be able to, get the hell out of here and get all the way back to the United States, get a place to live, all of that. That's huge money I don't have right now. So I'm trusting that I'm going to get that. And, things are moving in that direction. So that's good. We're moving in the right direction. So this comes back to the belief that I teach in the book, The Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life. So, just to let you know again, my experience. I've been here many times before. I've been on the edge of a cliff where I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And I have to take actions. I have to act, or, nothing good's going to come from it. And I've always come out on top. And there have been times much worse. Things aren't as bad as they have been in past times for me, where I really didn't know where I was going to be in a week. Like, was I going to have a place to live in a week? And I took actions. I took actions based on the trust that the universe would take care of me. Now, here's the agreement. The universe is going to take care of you when you are taking action towards what your soul wants. The reason why people get into real trouble. Now, my trouble, I have to be clear, my trouble is really not as big of a deal as I'm experiencing it as. And that's simply because I'm having a very powerful emotional reaction to the thought of not being where I want to be. But it doesn't mean that I'm not capable of being in many other really wonderful places. I just have very specific things about what I want and how I want it. And there's nothing preventing me from coming back here in the future. It just makes things very difficult and challenging at the moment to have exactly what I want. But so you have to know what your soul wants, and you have to be taking actions on what your soul wants. If you're taking action, like I said, on the person who wasn't willing to do anything, and what they wanted was to just tell somebody everything's going to be okay, just sit there and stay positive and everything will work out. And when I ask questions like, well, what do you mean, how is it going to work out? In what way? What's going to, I don't know, something will matter. You mean like somebody's going to knock on the door with $10,000 and hand it to you? That kind of completely not paying attention to the reality that's in front of them. That's not the same as, because that person, what that person wasn't doing wasn't taking actions on what they knew they wanted. That's the part I didn't tell you. There were actions that they needed to take which were frightening to them, which would have given them what their soul was asking for. So, as long as you're clear on what your soul wants, and you are willing to take the actions no matter how difficult those actions are, you are willing to take those actions in order to give your soul what it wants, then the universe has to take care of you. And this has always been the case for me. It has always taken care of me. In fact, when I have ended up in situations like I'm in now, those situations have spurred me, those situations have motivated me to sort of shake my head and start taking even more action. Because what was happening for me, as I shared weeks ago, what was happening for me was that in an attempt to help as many people as possible, I was giving away all of my stuff for free. All of my practices and all of my teachings, all the meditations and the practices basically were free. And my thought process was that if people did the free things and experienced the power, they would then be motivated to subscribe to the 90-day challenge, or then they would be motivated to work with me as an apprentice. In other words, I thought this would end up creating more, finances for me. And at the same time, I could feel like I was giving to people, and those who couldn't afford it were doing it, but those who could would respond and, support the channel. And the opposite was happening. What was happening is people were just taking the free stuff, and they had no reason to financially do anything. Why? Because, why should they? I was giving away everything for free. There was no reason for them to pay for anything. And who doesn't want free stuff? I want free stuff. So I had to awaken to the realization that I was sabotaging myself. And at the same time, I wasn't serving my students, because I also know it is a fact that there is an exchange of energy. And the reason why you pay teachers, the reason why you pay therapists, the reason why you pay your grocer, the reason why you pay your doctor, the reason why you pay people who have skills or products that you need and want is because it's just a law of the universe. There has to be a give and take. There has to be. Because if people don't, if it doesn't cost you some kind of energy to get something, then you don't appreciate it. When it comes to learning, like learning a skill, or learning, getting coaching from somebody. When you're paying somebody money to learn something, and they tell you to do something that's a little bit difficult, you're going to do it because you paid money and you want to get something out of it. And when you're teaching, like when I taught this martial art here, when I first started teaching, this was 30 years ago, I started teaching for free, and the people that I taught weren't learning. They would come back a week later and they'd say, "Can you teach me that set again?" I'm like, "Did you not practice it?" "Yeah, I was busy." And it's because it didn't cost them anything. It didn't mean anything to them. They didn't learn. But when you charge money for something, especially if it's a lot more than somebody feels comfortable giving, they're going to learn it because they paid for it. And so, this is just the basics of how life is. So, that was my fault. I was sabotaging myself, and at the same time, I wasn't helping people to the best of my ability, because as a teacher, I know it's not about whether or not people feel good, it's whether or not what I'm teaching them makes their life better. So I had to change that around as well. So that's what I mean, taking an action that's risky, taking an action that might be frightening or uncomfortable, but is in alignment with creating what you truly want in life. So that's my basic advice today. We're going to get into the meditation and I'll stop talking, but the first thing I want to tell you is that the most important tool I have is contrary action. It has saved my life in ways that I can't even talk about, don't want to talk about on this channel. But learning how to be able to take actions that are what you need to do, regardless of how it feels, and sometimes taking the action that is directly contrary to everything that your impulses and your body and your mind is telling you to do. And again, that comes from discipline. So the second thing is having discipline in your life. Discipline means doing something no matter what. Go to the gym 3 times a week, you meditate once a day, whatever it is. Those two things go together. Without discipline, it's going to be hard to take contrary action. And then the third most important thing is to base your life off the assumption that you must trust that the universe is working to give you the greatest experience of that will give you the most health, happiness, and prosperity. And no matter what actions you take, if they're in alignment with your soul, you operate from trust, the universe will always, in fact, it has to take care of you. So the only thing that we have to worry about is when we take actions that are contrary to what our soul truly wants. And that's really what the learning of life is all about. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get into the meditation. And then if there are any, we'll make it a short meditation today. And what I'm going to do is we're just going to do, we could just walk through it. What we're going to do is this, which is just the quantum field meditation. And what we're going to do today, because I did a bunch of stuff yesterday, and we did a very powerful meditation yesterday. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. I'm going to respect that meditation. I'm not going to repeat anything like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do a meditation for being able to optimize your 3D reality. So let's walk through what we're going to do here. So we're going to do the first one here. Step one is Hul breath, lightning, qigong, or any meditation for at least 10 minutes. We're not going to do that. What we are going to do is we're going to do the Huar breath, which you hear in the background. We're going to do that not for 10 minutes, just for a little bit. We're then going to go through the protocol of interdimensional meditation, as we always do, project our consciousness outside of Earth's orbit. We're going to do what we always do, which invite higher dimensional beings to help our meditation. Then we're going to travel to the light realm at the center of the universe, which is basically, if you don't know what God is a light in the center of the universe where all of the souls exist. God is every single individual soul, all together working as one. And we're going to imagine whatever we wish. I'm going to have some specifics. You can have yours. Number 6, we won't worry about that at the moment. And then we're just going to come out of it. So it's going to be a very quick meditation. And here's the theory behind it. So your physical makeup, and including everything in your physical life, is I saw this phrase great. It was frozen light. So physical matter is frozen light. It's energy that's just been manifested in a frozen way, in a physical way. And it is very easily changed. You can change your DNA by going to the quantum field and imagining your body different than it is. Now again, what's most necessary is to go back to what your soul wants your body to be. How you're supposed to be the best looking, healthy body that you've got. But you can do that with any part of your life. You can do that financially, you can do it with relationships, you can do it physically, emotionally, mentally. You can do it in any part of your life. So I want you to think of something that either you'd like to bring into your life that you don't have, or there's something you'd like to improve. Like if you've got health issues, I want you to think specifically on how you would like your physical body to be. You have financial issues. I'm going to have a very specific number in my mind that I'm going to put into this. I'm not going to tell you guys about it, but I will be doing that when we do this meditation. If you want more money, have a specific idea. Don't just say, I need more money. Have a specific idea. Just to let you know, my problem is of my own making in multiple ways, but one of them is when I first got here this last time, because I couldn't get a straight answer from anybody in the immigration lawyer department. I couldn't get a straight answer on, listen, how long can I actually stay on this visa? I couldn't get anybody to give me a straight answer. So I just winged it. And I knew that either I was going to, sail by, or that, when I came back in, the border would stop me and say, what are you doing? Which is exactly what happened. But the reason why I take responsibility for it is because when I first got here, I said, and before I left, what I said to the universe was, I want just a year. Just at least give me 1 year. Because I couldn't figure out how long I could stay. I just want 1 year. I really wanted that, and I put a lot of emotion. It's exactly what I got. Just right, almost to the day, I got exactly a year before I got kicked out. So this was my manifestation. Just to give you an idea why it's good to be specific. Had I said 2 years, I might still be in blissful ignorance. If I had said forever, you know, who knows? So again, we live in a probable world. So the laws of probability are that what is energetically more probable is more likely to manifest. So that doesn't mean you don't have to go big, but let's say you want 100 grand for something. You know, you want to buy a house and you need 100 grand. Then make that the specific amount. You don't believe that? Great, go down to 20 or 30. Whatever you can, you know, go a little bit beyond your comfort level. Yeah, so there you go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do this, and we'll I'll walk you through it. So first thing we're going to do is I just want you to breathe. So get in a comfortable position, lying down, sitting down, whatever it is. And we're going to do what we normally do just to get ourselves ready for meditation. So I want you to close your eyes. Just begin breathing long and deep. Become aware of your emotions, whatever they are. All right, take a deep breath in and hold it. And exhale. Take another deep breath in and hold it. And exhale. Take another deep breath in and hold it. And exhale. All right, bring your attention to your heart center. Now we're going to do a little bit of the Huar breath, just for maybe a couple of minutes, just to get the energy flowing. So get yourself in, if you want to, get yourself in Hul breath position. You don't have to, but if you know what that is and you want to, you can. Ready? Inhale and begin. Okay, bring your attention back to the sound of my voice. Breathe long and deep. Okay, bring your awareness to your heart center again. Feel the energy rotating. Now allow yourself to float out of the heart center. Turn around and look back on your body, whether that's looking down because you're lying down or looking straight ahead because you're sitting up. Take a look at your body from outside and take notice of everything that you see on it. And go ahead and thank your body for allowing it to be the vessel that you use to get through the third dimension. Thank all of your organs and the cells of your body. Everything is working, allowing you to be alive. And now you're going to allow yourself to float up to the ceiling. You can feel an energy pulling you up towards the ceiling. You then go through the ceiling. You look down on the roof below you. You continue to get pulled up into the sky further and further and further. You can see your house. You can see the neighborhood that you live in. You go out further, you can see the city that you live in. You go out further, you can see the state you're in. You go out further from there, you can see the continent. And we keep going further and further. We can see now the curvature of the earth. We get to the edge of Earth's atmosphere. We break through Earth's atmosphere. We're no longer in 3D Earth space-time. We pull out further until we can see the entire globe in front of us. And we just, for a moment, allow ourselves to be completely pulled away from all of that 3D video game stuff, all that stuff that we think is important is just a bunch of details in our video game. Nothing that we need to be worried about. We are an eternal soul. Being a human is just a temporary experience that we have as eternal beings of light. All right, continue to drift further and further out. And now go ahead and call your light being guide to you. If you know who they are, go ahead and call them. If you don't, just simply intend and request that any being of light that wants to help you, that loves you, that they would come and help you in this meditation. Do this now in your own words. All right. Now we're going to turn our attention to the empty space in front of us, and we can see off in the distance, we can see very small but bright white light. That is our destination. So we begin to float towards this light, and as we get closer and closer to this light, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where we feel that it's pulling us toward it. So we allow this energy to pull us into itself, and before we know it, we have entered into this ball of light. We've been completely consumed and swallowed by it, and now we are surrounded in all directions by incredibly bright white light. And as you allow yourself to absorb all of this light, you become aware that you are not alone, that you are surrounded by other beings of light. This place is absolutely packed with conscious light beings. And each one of these light beings notices you and loves you and cares about you. And they are all very excited to see you. And you get the feeling that they have known you forever and you're just another family member who's come back home. And they're very grateful to see you, and they're happy, and they're all here to focus on you and to help you. So now what we're going to do with the help of our guides and the help of our friends is we are going to imagine whatever it is that we want to manifest. If it's physical health, you're going to look at a blueprint of your body. If it is a relationship, if it's a feeling, whatever it is, bring it up either literally or symbolically. If you have a specific dollar amount, I want you to be thinking about that. And now what we're going to do is we're just simply going to focus on whatever it is we're trying to manifest in our reality. First question I want to ask you is, does this align with what your soul wants? How does your soul feel about whatever it is you want to manifest? All right, so mine is definitely very excited about it, even though I wasn't sure how my soul would feel about this. It is very excited about it, so I've got a thumbs up from my soul about it. Make any adjustments you might need to make, if any. If not, keep focusing on that thing you are wishing to manifest. Health, money, happiness, joy, whatever. And as you're looking at this, understand that what's happening is that you are giving instructions to the quantum field to create this probability. Because within this field, literally anything and everything that can be imagined already exists here in probability form. It hasn't been manifest yet, but it can. And what manifests anything in the physical realm is when the quantum field simply brings it into the third dimension as a result of some expectation that somebody has. So right now you are creating an expectation, and because it's something you want, you have emotions attached to it. Because you are here with your guides and with your friends, they now see what it is that you want, and they are putting their expectation into this becoming a reality. So now, in your mind, as you're looking at this in the quantum field, in your mind, say to yourself that you have it. Say, I have fill in the blank, whatever it is. While you're looking at it, go ahead and do this now. Okay, come back to the sound of my voice. It's just that simple. When you focus on what you want and you align your positive feelings and expectations about it, the universe has to create it. Because everything in your reality is a manifestation from the quantum field based on yours and or other people's expectations. So now imagine yourself having or doing or being whatever it is that you're focusing on. And that's it. That's how simple it is. So now we are going to thank all of the light beings that are there and have been helping us. So go ahead and do that now in your own words. Okay, bring your attention back to the sound of my voice, and now we're going to, with reverence and with thanks, we're going to allow ourselves to come out of the quantum field, and we find ourselves back in outer space. We now turn to our guides who are with us, and we're going to ask them if they have any words of advice or encouragement or anything that they would like to express. Go ahead and do this now. Bring your attention back to the sound of my voice. Remember what was told to you. Now we're going to come back to Earth, so we turn and we focus back on our solar system way off there in the distance, and we begin floating back towards Earth. We can see Earth coming into our view. So we come back to Earth. Just before we come back in, we say one last thank you to our guides. Those that aren't coming with us, we will set them free. And of course, those guides that do come with us, they will join us. So say thank you to your friends and know that they will always be there for you whenever you seek their guidance. And we now begin to float back down to Earth. We come down through Earth's atmosphere. This is where our manifestations are going to be projected. This is the Earth plane, and the Earth plane is nothing more than a 3D projected state from the quantum field. So we are very excited to see when and how this is going to be manifest in our reality. We come back down to our continent. We float down, we find our state. Go ahead and float down. We see our city, and then we see our neighborhood, and then we see our home. We go ahead and float down through the roof. We hover above our own body. So just for a moment, imagine how happy that body is going to be when it has whatever it is you've imagined. And now allow yourself to float back down into your body. And as you do, feel all of this new energy flowing through your entire bloodstream, your nervous system. Take a deep breath in and hold it. And exhale. Take another deep breath in and hold it. And exhale. Take another deep breath in and hold it. And exhale. Rub your hands together. Put your palms over your eyes. Feel the warmth of your hands. Inhale that warmth through the eyes into your whole body. Inhale. And exhale. Rub the eyes. Rub the face, ears, scalp, front of the neck, back of the neck, arms, shoulders, back, legs. Bring yourself back into your body. Okay. Well, I don't know how that was for you, but I definitely had very clear energetic communication in the positive. And I hadn't intended to ask for or create, I had a much smaller, safer thing I was going to create, but my instinct told me something else and I went with it. And I immediately got a direct, energetic, emotional response from, that I can, in other words, I can tell when it's a higher dimensional energy hitting me. So that sounded a heck of a lot like a promise. But in any case, I definitely feel a lot better than I did when we started. So it's just that simple. And this is what I put up at the end of every video at some point. That will be there. And it's a simple meditation that teaches you how to take responsibility for manifesting everything in your life. Because what ends up happening, like if I look back at me, a year ago, I didn't consciously realize what I was doing, but had a lot of intense feelings about coming back here, and because I didn't know how long I could stay, like I said, I picked a year, and I put a ton of emotions in it. That's exactly what I ended up getting. If I were to go back in time, I would have done something different. I would have done a lot of things different. And of course, going forward, it's just, I don't believe this is, I don't believe that, I'll never come back. I believe that either I'll get to stay or I will come back. I now am very clear on what plans I'm going to do, how I'm going to plan it out, and I won't get, as surprised as I allowed myself to. Now, part of the reason is things were very crazy at the end of COVID. And so I was literally escaping with my life and, retreating to someplace I thought was safe for an undoinked person. Things are a lot different now. I don't have to experience it like I did last time. So anyway, I'm babbling about my life. You don't need to know about that. So there we go. That's it. The most important things are to know how to take contrary action, take action that's completely contrary to everything that your body's telling you to do. Have discipline, have some kind of disciplined daily practice, meditative energy practice, the 90-day challenge, and operate from an assumption of trust. If you're new to the channel, or if you're not, remember, question your reality. Online classes and personal mentorship at thunderwizard.com. And if you're new to the channel, I need you to subscribe, like, and comment, because YouTube likes those things and we want as many people. I want this channel to go viral and I need your help to do that. So subscribe, like, comment, hit the bell button so that you'll be reminded of whenever I'm here. And there are 2 playlists that will always be free. That is the Interdimensional Meditation, which I've just taken you through, one of those. The 12 Steps to 5D. Those are free because they are incredibly important and everybody needs to be doing them. Let me just put it that way. These are the 2 most powerful things, and this is something that even if I could charge, which I can, but I would never charge money for those 2 things because this is just a human right. You deserve this. So I'll never take these things and put them someplace where you have to pay for them. So if you're complaining about not wanting to pay anything for nothing, those 2 are the most important. So go spend your time on those 2 playlists, the Interdimensional Meditation, 12 Steps to 5D. The Maoshan Qigong is going to be moved, and much of it has already been moved over to the shop. So that's thunderwizard.com. You click on where it says shop and you'll see where all of the meditations, and I've got a bunch of stuff up there right now. In fact, I'm uploading the 20 things you need to know about the 5 soul sheaths. And if you have all 20 of those things balanced according to Himalayan master yogis, you will not only be free of all pain and disease, but you will be immortal. You can live for as long as you want if you have all 20 of those things. And I tell you exactly what they are and what to do. And hey, I don't have all 20 of mine yet, but I'm working on it. So you can do that with me. Just check out there in the shop. They're there. The new wood set, which you see here, the Maoshan 5-element moving shamanic forms. If you want to learn more about that, let's listen to Mahadeva tell you about it. The Maoshan wood element moving shamanic kung fu form is the most powerful and advanced method I've ever used to tap directly into the power of pure spirit, of pure energy. These moving forms work with the 8 directions in ways that allow you to literally channel and summon higher dimensional energies. This particular package includes what you see here, which is called the Sifu hands. I also give you detailed footwork instruction, which connects to the energy centers at the bottom of the feet. And when you put the hand movements, the foot movements, and the alignment of the body together, you actually are able to channel the deity known as ether, or in Taoist understanding, wood. It's available now at thunderwizard.com. Go and click on the shop menu. You will see it there. The rest of the elements, metal, fire, water, and earth, will be coming soon. That wood set really is incredibly powerful. You know, if you do that, you'll get all of the benefits of any Qigong practice, including Tai Chi. Plus, you'll get aspects connecting to the heart mind, which is the electromagnetic energy. It really is. I mean, it's an absolute, just a precious jewel. And if you don't know if you want to do the other 5 elements, you can do the wood set by itself, and you'll be okay as long as you continue to ground. So check that out if you're interested. And of course, we've got the new pineal gland meditative technique, which I go into great detail, the Hua breath technique. I think you can see that here. Yeah, the advanced Hua mantra technique for pineal activation. That is also there. The celestial Qigong, a bunch of new stuff will always be there. And of course, there is the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. And I recommend that if you haven't done that, check it out. It's the most powerful thing you're going to find. All the stuff I give is the most powerful stuff you're ever going to find anywhere. And this is the only place to get most of it. So anyway, I've done all the business there. Let's take a look, see if there's any questions. Somebody said, let's see, Thundra says hello, and she's glad you're here. She's here to do another meditation. Travis Cup, you've been on my channel a while. Please write the word question in case I just want to see questions. You know how to do it. You've heard me say it. You say, what country are you in? I'm in Australia at the moment. Let's see, Jedi Black Knight. I think I answered your questions. Have you thought about where you'll go to? Yeah, I know exactly where I'm going to go. I'm going to go back to where I was a year ago. I'm going to go, again to something sort of similar to this, a warm place on the beach where I can surf, and not too much city. Yep, I know exactly where I'm going. Let's see. Thundra says, the desire I wanted manifested as a purple light in the quantum. I picked it up and put it in my heart, and I imagined a purple string attaching my heart to the quantum field. I'm feeling very good about it. I'm also high as hell from that meditation. Thank you for these. Keep them coming. Twisted Reality, I don't know why you want to argue with me. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. You are more than welcome to have whatever feeling you want. What have you done? How does that benefit anybody, what you've written there? All you've said is you disagree with me. You haven't asked a question. Why are you here? Listen, I don't need you to agree with me. I completely, 100% would die to give you the ability to have whatever opinions you want, but it doesn't serve you. to act this way. It's a destructive communication. It doesn't serve you. You're not going to learn anything from it. So you're not going to learn anything new from me. You're not saying, I'm open to something different. This is how I feel. You're just telling me that you think I'm wrong. And, how does that create any connection to anybody? It doesn't make me feel good. Makes me, my first instinct is to start arguing with you, which makes me think you feel connected to people when they're abusing you. And I don't want to abuse you. So is this how you treat life? Do you like having that feeling? Do you like having the feeling that there are soulless humans in the world? I mean, it's, listen, my friend, you're on my channel, which means that there's something here for you. You wouldn't be here if you didn't think there was something that you were getting from this channel. So here's a bit of free advice. Learn how to interact with life in a way that will empower you. That you want life to make you feel empowered. Telling people that they're wrong when they haven't asked your opinion. Just telling them you don't agree with people because there's some pain in you is a very destructive way to communicate. And all it does is push people away. And, if you wanted my help, all you had to do was ask. If underneath that need to throw that opinion out and push me away and tell me that I'm wrong for something, if underneath that was a desire to ask for connection because you're in pain, you could have asked. I'm here to do everything I can to help you and everybody else. The other thing that comes to my mind is, because my belief on there's no such thing as a soulless human. And again, here's the other thing I know about you. You don't have a teacher. And you need one. Because a good teacher would help you. I already know you've had bad relationship with your parents. I can tell that right off the bat. Most of us have. But I also can tell you don't have a teacher. Anyway, and you're still arguing with me, but you're not even listening to me. Why are you here? If you don't want to listen to what I have to say, I'm not interested in being that bully of a dad who beats you up, or your mom, or whoever it is. I'm not interested in being that person. I want to be your friend and I want to help you. So if you want my help, ask for it. You say, I'm open about watching talk on spirituality. Well, good for you. Well, why else are you here? I don't know why you're here. But, what it tells me is that on an unconscious level, you feel that you are a soulless human. You may not see that, you may not even agree with that, but there's my gift to you. On an unconscious level, you feel that you don't exist, and or you feel as though you don't deserve to exist. Therefore, everybody who's harmed you, and I also know that you've been deeply wounded, because nobody who believes that there are soulless humans has not been deeply wounded. You clearly have not worked through your wounds. You may not even be aware of them. But to believe that there are soulless humans means that somebody has deeply wounded you, and that wound represented you being told that you don't deserve to exist, you're a worthless piece of crap, or at the very least, that was the feeling you got from it. And so now you've been infected with that, and now you are trying to infect others, because misery loves company. And the bottom line is, how would you feel if I thought that about you? How would you feel if I just decided one day that, twisted reality, you're somebody that doesn't have a soul? No, I know you don't. You're an NPC. I know that you're not a real person. You don't exist. You don't have a soul. And what if I went and started telling everybody? What if, that's what you're asking for. By saying that to me, what you're asking for is you're wanting somebody to tell you you don't deserve to exist. And what you really want, if you were able to be, if you had the knowledge, if somebody had taught you how to do this, which is why I think you need a teacher, you would say, I feel an emptiness inside of me. I feel unseen, unheard, and unloved, and it's incredibly painful. That's what you would be saying. That is the most honest thing that is coming out of, I think that there are people on the earth that don't have souls. So start asking. Don't be such a, don't, look, it comes off really bad. Be a person who treats others with respect and say, I have a question. Say, here are my feelings. You say, you could have said, I'm having a hard time understanding this NPC thing. Can you explain it more? All of those are constructive ways of interacting. But twisted reality, this is probably the last time I'm going to engage with you because we've engaged before. And it's me, I'm just giving away my time for free again to somebody who isn't valuing it. So if you want to take me as a teacher, you can go here to thunderwizard.com and you can subscribe as an apprentice. If you don't want to work with me, that's fine, work with somebody. But I think from here on out, I'm probably not going to respond to you for free on the chat because it's obvious. It doesn't look to me like you're doing the practices. Something. If you are, you need personal help. I have a teacher, and if you see me as an example, I wouldn't be able to function without a teacher. And I don't think anybody else should have a teacher if they want to get somewhere spiritually. Anyway, we're going to end with that. Thank you, my friends, for showing up. I appreciate you. I love you very much, and I'm so grateful to everybody that's doing the work to empower themselves. Doing the best that you can. Even Twisted Reality is doing the best that they can, and I see that and I appreciate that. And I appreciate those of you who are supporting the channel. Without you, I literally wouldn't be able to function because it's the people here that subscribe and the people here that are going and empowering themselves by getting the teachings and the practices and using them. That allows me to pay my bills and will allow me to, buy a very expensive plane ticket and be able to, start over again somewhere else, at least for a little while. And, here at the thunderwizard.com site, which is the Patreon site, which again, I've showed you here, the Patreon site, there's, I think 300, there's over 400 subscribers. That sounds great, right? Except that 360 of them are free subscribers. Now, I don't have any control over that. If I did, I wouldn't allow people to subscribe for free because you don't get anything. Any of the stuff that's on there for free is already for free on the YouTube channel, so it's not benefiting you. It may make you feel good, and you might be trying to send me a thumbs up, and I appreciate the gesture, but practically speaking, it does nothing for anybody. So there is an option if you want to just, subscribe. I don't know what it is, 10 or 20 bucks a month or something. If you want to do that, that's a much better way to subscribe to the channel without having to commit to any of the other stuff and still send me a positive thing. But, you might as well get something out of it. And if you subscribe here, you get access to everything that I've put on this Thunder Wizard site for the past 15 years, which goes back to the mastery of shamanism. It goes to the 5 elements, runes, how to manifest, meditations, mantras, rituals, stuff that you can't get through it all in 5 years' time. So you've done the 90-day challenge, and what now? There's still all that other stuff there. So you owe it to yourself at least to take a look at it, and of course it allows me to function. And again, if you're a free subscriber, get something out of it. All right, that's it, my friends. Let's see, Thundra she wants an opportunity to subscribe to a group Zoom meditation. Just saying. All right, so is that a suggestion? Is that a request? You want me to create that? Well, I don't know about that. That's something I can think about for sure. That's it. Thank you, my friends. As always, if I don't get beamed up to the Starship Enterprise, and or if I don't, if the solar flash don't come, and or I don't shift myself out of this 3D reality, if none of those things happen, I will be back very soon. And between now and then, please take very good care of yourselves. Know that you are loved. Know that you are the most important being that has ever existed, and that the universe literally would not exist without you. Not only are you not an NPC, but literally nothing would exist if you didn't exist. That's how important you are. Don't let anything or anybody take that away from you. You know, if I criticize somebody, it's not a criticism of their essence, it's a criticism of the way they treat themselves. You know, to be self-devaluing bothers me when I see that, because I see every person as being God. And it frustrates me when people aren't at least trying to experience that. And that's not their fault, it's the third dimension. And so just know that whole, whatever negative feelings you have, whatever that is, it is a lie. And your job is to get through that lie and get to the truth. And the truth is that you are the source of everything in the entire multiverse. And the more that you can experience that, accept that, and act from that, the more empowered you and every other conscious being in the universe will be. So I'll leave you with that, my friends. Thank you. I'll see you very soon. And keep me in your meditations. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Anthony threw down $5. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, that's it, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's see. Let's end with what we always end with. Where'd it go?